Hey, what's up book lovers? My name is Medium and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with spoiler book talk for A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. Originally I was going to have one video with a non-spoiler and spoiler section for this book, but I have so many thoughts and I didn't want a video to be too long, so I have split it up. So if you have not read A Court of Mist and Fury and you don't want to be spoiled, I do have a non-spoiler book talk that I will leave linked down below that you can watch. You can see all my general thoughts on this book, and just know that I did very much love this book. So if you have not read A Court of Mist and Fury, please do not watch this video. It is all spoilers. I'm not even joking. I'm definitely going to try not to make this too long because I definitely have like a lot of things I have to talk about and I want to talk about because this book was huge and it was so good. So let's just get on to all of my thoughts on this book. The first thing that I want to talk about that I absolutely hated was Tamlin's character and its complete and utter destruction. I felt like I was reading a whole other person, like a whole other character. Like this was not Tamlin that I read in the first book because I felt like the kindness and caringness was completely leached out of him, and it was there in Akitara, okay? Like, he was kind and he was caring and understanding. You can't tell me that he wasn't, because he was. Like, that was Tamlin, the kind and caring person. So I don't understand where this character came from that just completely didn't care about Feyre, completely like disregarded all of Feyre's feelings, because that was not the Tamlin that I read in ACOTAR, and I thought that his drastic character change just completely came out of nowhere. Like, what? Why did this happen? Like, now in Akamath we have this whole other character that's just completely abusive, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I know a lot of people talk about how now we like learned more about Tamlin's past, but like, yes, Tamlin killed Rhys's family, but like it still doesn't like explain away this character change, because if that's the case, then why wasn't he terrible in ACOTAR? And it wasn't just because he was trying to woo her. Like, he was kind and caring. Like, I don't think that Tamlin could pull off this whole facade in the first book. Like, that was just so drastic. It was completely out of nowhere. And the way that he just completely ignored how Feyre woke up every single night to puke, even though they shared the same bed every single night, like, that's just so inconsistent with his character in ACOTAR, like, and his personality of being kind and caring. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. I didn't feel like that was something Tamlin would ignore. The parts about him not wanting her outside of the court, like, that made a little bit of sense to me. Like, it was not okay, but it made sense to me. But him being completely uncaring, no, I'm sorry, that just absolutely made no sense to me whatsoever. This didn't need to happen at all to Tamlin's character. Like, I thought it was completely unnecessary. I know sometimes authors destroy a character in a love triangle so that the main character could be with a certain person, and like they destroy a character for a ship, basically, and I'm never okay with that. And honestly, and if you think about it, it was completely unnecessary in this scenario, completely and utterly unnecessary, because number one, we all know that Rhys and Feyre are mated. You will not be a mating bond. Like, it just will not happen. So obviously we all know Rhys and Feyre were going to end up together. There was no competition with Tamlin to begin with if they truly have a mating bond. So obviously Feyre's going to end up with Rhys regardless of whether Tamlin's character was destroyed or Tamlin's character is not destroyed. So his destruction was completely unnecessary. We did not need to have that happen, and I was very much disappointed with that. I know it makes it sound like I hated this book, but I really didn't. But this part of the book really aggravated me because I just could not believe that once again I was reading about a character who was nice and sweet and caring and that we all loved in the first book being completely destroyed so that a character could end up with someone else. And especially in this scenario, it did not make any sense. I'm telling you, it made no sense. Rhys and Feyre have a mating bond. Therefore, there is no love triangle because there is no need for a love triangle. So Tamlin was out of the picture to begin with. We didn't need to destroy his character. There is one thing I would like to say to Tamlin. In what universe did you think locking up a girl would ever be a good idea? In what universe did you expect her to ever stay with you or to ever love you again? In what universe are you living in that is a thing that could potentially happen? Overall, if Sarah J Maas wanted me to hate Tamlin, she was pretty successful. From the beginning, it was so obvious Feyre and Tamlin were not going to get married. So obvious. The girl was doubting from the beginning. Like, it was 100% obvious that they were not going to get married, and thank God that they did not. Feyre wasn't excited, and if you're dreading your wedding, you're obviously not going to get married. Another character I hate. In the beginning, I was expecting to love Ianthe, but oh my God, do I hate this girl. Basically, what I've learned from her presence in this book is that I always trust Rhys and Lucien because they both hated her, and Tamlin has horrible judgment. Let us also talk about Lucien's character. Lucien's character gave me another reason to hate Tamlin because basically Tamlin almost made people hate Lucien. And Lucien is a fantastic character. I don't care. I will always love Lucien. Lucien was my favorite character in ACOTAR. He's not my favorite character anymore because Rhys, obviously, and I'll talk more about him later because I can talk about Rhys forever. But Lucien, I still love. He still tried for Feyre. And I was kind of a little annoyed with Feyre when Lucien came and told her to come back with them to the Spring Court. In the forest. Like, I was obviously annoyed that Lucien was kind of like, yo, come on, like, I'm gonna force you to come with us to the Spring Court. Like, that was annoying, but I was also mad that Feyre and Rhys just kind of blamed Lucien for what happened to her. Like, it's not completely his fault, okay? Like, he's following orders. He's technically like a subject. Like, what is he gonna do? And he did try. Like, he, honest to God, tried to help Feyre in the situation that she was in. Like, Lucien is a person that can see and understand when and why something is wrong, and he did try to get Tamlin to ease up on Feyre. It's not his fault that Tamlin did not ease up on Feyre. That's not his fault at all. What did you expect him to do, honestly? Like, the guy doesn't really have any place to go. Like, he was hurt by his own family, and Tamlin's basically his only family that he has left, and his best friend, like someone who took him in when he needed to be helped. He was just a normal person who didn't want to lose his best friend, like any normal person wouldn't want to lose their best friend. So I don't think it was fair for anybody to put blame on Lucien for what happened to Feyre when it was solely Tamlin's fault. And I really think that the mating bond between Lucien and Elaine is going to come into play in the next book, and is definitely going to get some redemption for Lucien. Or anybody that really didn't like Lucien after this book or blamed Lucien for what happened to Feyre. I absolutely loved it when we got to the Night Court after Tamlin locks her up. And we got to see Velaris, and honestly, it just sounds so beautiful. Like, I want to go there. And knowing what Rhys did to protect it and his friends just makes me love it even more and want to be there even more. Like, after Hogwarts, if you asked me what fictional place I would love to go to, it'd probably be Velaris. Like, that's how much I love it. Now, when we went to the House of Winds and we met, like, the whole Night Court squad, oh my god, I was completely in love. And I'm just gonna go through each of these characters and talk about them because they're so fantastic. First up, Amren is so interesting. Like, the girl, like, I don't know what is she? Like, I will forever think of her, like, as a vampire. Like, she drinks blood. Obviously, she's not a vampire, but, like, in my head, she's a vampire for now until I know what she is. I loved how her relationship with Feyre progressed and developed in this book. When they come back from Hybern and, like, Feyre's not with Rhys and Amren goes, like, where is she? And Rhys explains that Feyre's gonna be spying at the Spring Court, and Amren goes, she's your mate, not your spy. Go get her back. I was like, oh, Amren. Oh, I love you so much. And I definitely can't wait to see more of her in the future. Then we have Azriel, who's just a fantastic character. If you've read the Vampire Academy series, he reminds me so much of Dimitri because they're both really quiet and they have this mysterious vibe to them. I definitely love him and I want to see more of him, and I hardcore ship him with Mor. Mor is one of my newest favorite female characters ever. She's so great. She's strong and she's confident. Everything that happens to her shaped her into such a fantastic woman. She's such a great symbol of strength. I loved her and Feyre's female friendship. I absolutely loved this part of the book when she's essentially telling Feyre that her life is her life. I once lived in a place where the opinion of others mattered. It suffocated me. It nearly broke me. So you'll understand me, Feyre, when I say that I know what you feel and I know what they tried to do to you, and that with enough courage you can say to hell with a reputation. You do what you love, what you need. I absolutely loved that part of this book. Like I said, I really think Morrigan is such a beautiful and amazing symbol of female strength. Next up, we have Cassian. Oh my goodness, I love him so much. I think he's now my second favorite character in this book, like right after Rhysand. I know, like, he took Lucian's spot, but like, Cassian is such a big teddy bear. Like, he's so cute. I love him so much. I'm trying to contain my excitement. Like, if I'm talking like this about Cassian, I don't even know how I'm going to contain myself when I talk about Rhysand. Like, it's just like, prepare for the fangirl feels because they're going to be intense. He's just so wonderfully kind-hearted, and he has such a beautiful relationship with like everybody, with Azriel, his relationship with Morgan, and his relationship with Rhys. Like, when how Rhys was like explaining this whole like mating bond to Feyre, like that whole chapter, which I'll get to later. And he's like, oh, I just kept thinking, like, when I saw you under the mountain, like, Cassian would have looked at me and been like, if you don't marry her, I will. I was like, oh, like, Cassian. And we have Feyre finally telling Tamlin, like, oh, I'm not coming back to the spring court. And Cassian's like, oh, hey, do you want to talk about it? I'm like, he's so cute. Like, do you see how much he cares about people? He's so cute. He's too cute to be even true. And then he told Nesta off for letting her baby sister hunt for the whole entire family. Like, I hardcore also ship Nesta and Cassian. Like, that has to happen. It has to happen. All of their relationships, all their meetings, all their interactions were gold. They are squad goals. Now, Rhysand is basically my new bae because I love him so much. If there's a weakness for me, it's being a great ruler. If there's one thing I could describe Rhys as, it's a fantastic ruler. Do you see how great of a High Lord he is? How much he cares for his people? What he went through to make sure that everybody was safe. Like, I absolutely love Rhysand for that, and I always will love Rhysand for that. He just has like this beautiful and lovely heart under all of that arrogant like facade he puts up. It's just so heartbreaking and breathtaking, and I love him so much for it. Knowing that he went through all of that stuff under the mountain for Feyre, his friends and his court just made me love him even more. I love that we really sincerely got to understand him and his motivations in this book because, like I said, if you went back and watched my ACOTAR video, you would know that I hated Rhysand in the first book. Like, I absolutely was just like, yeah, he's an interesting character, but no, I do not like him. But right now, I cannot stress enough how much I love Rhysand. After I finished this book, like, to this day, I'm still thinking about how much I love Rhysand, and I finished this book, like, I want to say almost a week and a half ago. He's too cute. Like, Cassian and Rhysand are just, oh my god. I also really like that Feyre's sisters were in this book because I did want to see more of them. Honestly, Elaine surprised me and she kind of grew on me. I didn't really like her in the first book. I liked Nesta a little more, but like I like the both of them now. I loved Elaine and Nesta's relationship, and I do also find Nesta to be a pretty strong female character. Feyre's newly acquired powers. So cool. Oh my god, the girl could do anything. When she like zapped into Lucian's mind, I was like, whoa, what just happened here? Like, that was really weird, but like really cool at the same time. And then when Valeris was attacked, she just like completely impressed me with her wolves. Like, yeah, hi, here are the wolves that are just gonna take you down. Like, they're water wolves, but like they'll still chew, because like why would you ever attack my city? Like, perfect. It was so perfect. I love her new powers. And the fact that Tamlin thought it was a bad idea for her to train, obviously you thought it was a bad idea for her to train, because if she trained, she could obviously beat you and do anything to you because you are a little weakling compared to the great lengths of what Feyre can do. Pray do tell, Tamlin, how is Feyre not knowing how to fight, being defenseless? How is that ever a good thing? If you really care about her, how is that a good thing? I know I'm like all over the place with like what happened in this book. There's just so much, but Feyre and Rhys's notes to each other were so cute. So cute. My favorite was when she called him like one hell of a High Lord, and they're like about to get dinner or something, and he's like, one hell of a High Lord, huh? And like was dying of laughter in that part. When we found out that he has nightmares every single night, my heart just completely broke. I was like, come here, let me give you a hug, because you deserve it. And you don't need to go through any of this pain anymore because you have Feyre and everything's gonna be okay, Rhys. Don't worry about it. I just love him so much. I'm sorry if I keep saying that, but I just do. But something else that like bothered me a little bit was Rhys's capture right before Feyre found out about the mating bonds. Like, that didn't really make any sense to me, because like Rhys is described as this amazing. Like, he's amazing. Like, he is the greatest High Lord to have ever walked this earth, like the most powerful High Lord. So I feel like Rhys could not let his guard down. Like, even if he was thinking about this like mating bond topic, like how could he let his guard down so much as to not notice that there are people that are about to like attack, you know? Like, how? It didn't really make any sense to me, that part. Like, yeah, he could be a little off guard, but I could feel like he could never be that off guard, considering like it was said that there were not just like one arrow, it was like multiple arrows in his wings. So I'm assuming that there was more than one person that was attacking. So like, how did Rhys not notice that many people that are about to attack? Like, that just didn't make that much sense to me. In my opinion, I feel like he should have felt or noticed another presence in the forest. We heard the whole story from Rhys about their mating bonds, and I was just like in complete shock that he knew Feyre before he even met her, and like knew about their bond before he even met her, and I was just like, that is so cute. I got so many Will Herondale vibes from that whole chapter. Like, the Will vibes were strong, and that must be why I love Reese so much, because he like reminds me of Will. And that whole chapter was just beautiful and so emotional, and I loved it so much. And then she accepts the mating bond, and the squad is like, oh, we're here to serve and protect you. And I was like, guys are so cute. Like, stop it, okay? We were literally going to be the reason why so many people just like die from secondhand cuteness. Like, it's just too much for me to handle. When the attack on Valeris happened, I was so anxious. I was like, no, this is not happening right now. This cannot be happening right now. Reese is not there. Reese is not there to protect his place. Like, he would go to so many great lengths to make sure that his place is protected, and he wasn't there. And I was so worried. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, something terrible is gonna happen. But Vera was there, and she was just slaying with her water wolves. And she killed the adder and just made me so proud. I was like, yes, Feyre, you go, girl. When they were planning to go to Hybern and Reese is giving Feyre the choice, and Tamlin didn't give her so many choices, I literally was like, yes, OTP for life. Oh god, those last 30 pages, I was not prepared, okay? I was like sitting there like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Oh my god. I had like the most violent reaction like after I finished closing this book. Like, I just threw it onto my bed. I was like, oh my god. I was feeling so many emotions. The dust jacket came off. It's been a long time since a book has gotten that reaction out of me, so congratulations, Akamath. Like, this is what you do to me. I throw my books now, apparently. The whole time, I was like, Azriel cannot die. I love that guy. He cannot die. This is not happening. We need to fix him. We need to make sure he's okay. Please don't die, Azriel, because I cannot deal with you dying. When Tamlin walked in, and he's a traitor, I just literally couldn't believe it. Are you really stupid? Like, are you really that stupid? Like, do you think that King of Hybern, like, that's like me saying, okay, by the way, I'm gonna team up with like Voldemort for like 2 seconds, because like he'll give me what I want. No, it's not gonna happen. Like, obviously he's gonna trick you. Obviously, like, oh my god, Tamlin, you're so frustrating. After this, I don't think there's possibly ever gonna be any redemption for Tamlin. At this point, I was just kind of like, okay, can we kill this dude off now, because I don't even care anymore. Like, yeah, I'm mad about your whole drastic character change, but this is just too much for me. You need to go and be somewhere else, because I don't want you here, and nobody wants you here. And then they bring in Nesta and Elaine, and I literally, it's just like, what? Why? I literally thought both of them were gonna die. I was like, they're both gonna die. But then Elaine survived. And then Feyre kept saying, oh, Nesta's different, Nesta's different. And I thought Nesta's gonna die. But she didn't. And I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God. Lucian and Elaine's bond was so shocking. Like, that was just so shocking. And I'm glad it happened, because I think it's definitely going to play a big role in the next book and which side Lucian is going to stand on. Really sincerely thought that bond between Reese and Feyre was broken, but then Amren was like, you cannot break a mating bond. It was like, bam, nah, the mating bond is not broken. Feyre is the High Lady of the Night Court. I was like, yes, she's gonna be spying on Tamlin now. And Reese is just like, yeah, by the way, we got married last night. No big deal. She'll be back. Like, when she's done spying on the Spring Court, she'll be back. Don't worry about it. I was so not expecting that. And it's so obvious that Lucian doesn't believe her. Like, the way he looks at her, like, it's obvious he doesn't believe her. And I think it's gonna play a huge role, like I said before, in the next book. Because I think that Lucian, because of his mating bonds with Elaine, is definitely going to stand up a lot more to Tamlin. He's just going to be like, yeah, I don't really care about you anymore, because you kind of could potentially ruin my mate's life. So, yeah, I don't think that this friendship thing is going to work anymore, because she comes before you. It's going to be kind of like that push for him to turn against Tamlin, and I'm so annoyed that we're going to be seeing more of Tamlin in the third book, because Feyre is at the Spring Court, but I think we're also going to get a dual perspective, because we're kind of going to need to see, like, Rhysand's whole thing, then we're going to see Feyre's whole thing. But, like, I just don't know how Feyre's gonna deal with Tamlin. Tamlin in his mind is thinking, oh, she's in love with me. Like, what is Feyre gonna do? Because I feel like she's being put into a very difficult position now. And I just hope that nothing really bad happens. I hope that she's going to be able to keep up the charade. Another thing that I definitely think is going to come into play in the next book is the Miriam and Dracan. Those two characters and that island that they were on, I think that those two are definitely going to play a role in the next book. And I'm hoping that they do, because I think that's going to be really interesting to learn more about that. For the most part, I just hope that everyone's going to be okay. So like I said, I really love this book. I think my favorite part was the bone carver scene, or Rhysand's like whole chapter where he's explaining everything to Feyre about the mating bond. I thought that was really nice too. And my favorite quote in this book was when Feyre and Rhys go to the summer court, and this is like after Feyre gets really jealous of Cressida or whatever her name is, because like Rhysand was flirting with her, and I really liked that line when they were drinking later on. And Feyre says, to the people who look at the stars and wish Rhys, and he answers, to the stars that listen and the dreams that are answered. I really like that line. I thought that was so beautiful. So if you have read Court of Mist and Fury, let me know your thoughts about this book. Let's discuss down below. Let me know what your favorite part was. Let me know what your favorite quote was, because there were quite a few beautiful ones in this book. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time with a new video. Bye!